got down to local club water. I finished work this morning early, about 4 o'clock in the morning, so I'd nipped home. I already had the car loaded, so it was just a case of grabbing the dog, a few bits out of the fridge, and got down here. So yeah, it's my first video of the year. I am working on another one. I had a trip to Rainbow in January, which will be documented in another video, so you'll have to wait for that one. But yeah, I've been out a couple of times in the UK since I've been back. Very successful here. There was a fish that I was after when I fished it 6-7 years ago, called moonscale, which unfortunately is one of the 18 I never caught. But yeah, I came down in February, moved in the dark onto showing fish, and yeah, that following lunchtime on Saturday I was lucky enough to have caught it. £38.10. Here's a picture of it now. Old fish, has been up and over £40, 44 I think was the heaviest it's been. So at least as I was over the moon having that. That was one of my targets for this year, and to have caught it already, yeah, it was. I was quite pleased with that, as you can imagine. And then I came back down, I think it was 3 weeks later, fishing the same swim, which is where I am now, on the point, and I had 2 and lost one. 26 and a 15, I think it was, something like. I didn't weigh it. It was around about that sort of weight. But yeah, so I've managed to get away from work a bit earlier this morning, get down here, so I've got a full day today, and I don't have to be packing up till sort of late afternoon on Sunday. So it gives me a good sort of 3 days fishing, and it is a good daytime water on here. So yeah, so fingers crossed. But I've got a few new bits to try out this trip. I was fortunate enough to meet there's a Dutch angler called Arjen. He came over, do a slideshow. He'd done one in Essex and then one in Hitchin that my friend organised. So ended up meeting up with him, Gavin, Berry, Clayton, Bill, Nick, all the faces sort of from Rainbow, and a lad called Nout, who one of Arjen's friends, and Nout works for a company over in the Netherlands called Strategy, and he sent me some bits to try. Different sort of lead arrangements, something similar to what you would have seen before, but with a little twist. So I'm going to give them a whirl this session, and I'll show you more when I get it set up. But yeah, so now it's just a case of I know sort of 2 of my spots in this swim. The third one's always just been a chuck it and chance it one, so I want to get the rods out rather rapidly, get the house up, probably get a couple of hours kit because I'm shattered, and then I'll catch up with you a little bit later. Right, that's it, the rods are out now. I said I was going to find spots for all 3, but the 2 that I've caught fish from before they're out, I just saw a patch of bubbles that come up, and then there was another one just to the left of it, so I'm sure it was a fish. So I've just stuck a single white, crystal white pop up on top of that, just to see. So yeah, I'm just going to get my house in order. But I've seen a couple of fish pretty close to my location, so yeah, I'm feeling confident. The right hand rod, let me just turn the camera around. Right, the right hand rod is over, just over there. There's a tree. I'm not sure how clear that's going to come out with the sun where it is at the moment, but that's where I've picked up several fish over the years. I had the 2 and lost one. The last time I was down was from that one area, so obviously I've got a rod back on that, and then coming round, I'm more or less straight out in front of me, just where that tree is there, the angle, probably 3/4 of the way across in about 7 foot of water, nice and firm, just before some dead weed. I put a lot of bait on that one. I just put probably about 1.5 to 2 kilo of boilies over that. Now the water temperature's, well, it was 9 degrees. I stuck my thermometer in earlier, and considering it was a cold night last night, it's come up a bit, which is a good thing. And then the left hand rod, I'll say this is on a single, just the other side of this wind line that's out there. So I just saw a patch of bubbles just on the off chance, but then I saw a fish roll probably about there, but that's over the deep channel that comes into this bay. So it didn't look like a fish that was clean in itself. It's just a show. So I've left it on where the patch of bubbles had come up for the time being. You know, it's only 7:30 now, 20 to 8. So yeah, obviously I'm happy with these two. The third one I'm happy with. It's just a case now of maybe later having a look, see if I can find a better area for it. And just keep my eyes out. So if any fish will stick the nut out, then it's going to have a lead on it. That's worked for me in the past here. So yes, I just have to keep my eyes peeled. But yeah, I'm just about to get the house and everything set up now. Get comfortable. Knowing me, I'll be moving if I see something anywhere else. But yeah, for now I just want to get sorted and try and get my head down for a couple of hours. That's the plan anyway. Right, as I explained a little bit earlier, Nout sent me some bits over from the company that he works for in the Netherlands called Strategy. And this is one of the bits that they've sent me, and it's a lead clip setup with the leader. So they come on the pack like that. This might be a bit tricky to demonstrate while I'm trying to do everything. But as you can see, you've got a leader which comes ready on it, and I'll tell you, it's really supple and really heavy as well. It sinks really well. The leader comes through the tail rubber, through the tail part of the lead clip, then it comes out over the top and round, and there's a loop on the end of the leader which actually goes on the clip itself. So the lead can discharge as a normal lead clip would, but where the clever bit is, I don't know if you can see there, where that swivel is and that link is actually in the centre of the lead clip. So what happens, it's like I suppose it's like a centre of gravity type thing, but what happens is, so the fish will get bolted and then that peg comes out, so then it acts a bit like a running rig. So again, a bit like a shocker rig, I suppose. And then of course, when you pull tight on it, when you connect with a fish, that all pulls down there and you play it as per normal. Now, I wouldn't use this on a really weedy venue, purely because I don't think the lead would come off every time. But with the way things are now, with dropping leads, you know, I don't think there's a need to every time, and I wouldn't use this in a situation where I believe that you have to drop the lead. But then what happens if you crack off and break off, the whole of the leader pulls. I'll get hold of the end, so that's just going to come straight through, eventually. Oh. So yeah, so your leader just comes off there, and while that's happening, your swivel that is on the leader there, that then obviously just comes off the end of the leader, so all they're left with is the hook link. But like I was saying, it's not one I'd use in a weedy situation. Where I am now, there's hardly any weed. You know, it's March, so it's not nothing's overly weedy. But yeah, it's something different. You know, it's like a centre of gravity type thing. It feels full resistance of all of the lead weight, and then the peg comes out, and then they think they've sort of got away with it, and it's a running lead, until obviously you pull into it. But yeah, clever device. And then my rig at the moment, as per the label, is bank tackle gear. So I've got one of their Continental hooks on there, which is a size 4, one of the tail rubbers, set up sort of a slip D, and then their new hook link material, which they sent me a couple of spools of. They do a green and a brown in £20. It's like a semi-stiff coated, not overly stiff. I'm quite happy to use it where I'm fishing at the moment over a sort of a little bit of choddiness. But yeah, impressed with it. Right, so as you would have seen in that little cutaway shot, Strategy also do an inline version. Again, you can get the action packs, which has got the leaders on. Now these are a specific lead. You couldn't use a normal inline lead with these ones. But again, a very similar setup. So the leader comes all the way through the back of the lead, but then comes out the hole at the top there, then back in, and at the end they come fitted with a swivel. Now you could cut that down so there's nothing protruding out the bottom of the lead, or what you can do is use it to tie on a PVA bag, for example, and then hook your hook into that. So multitude of things you could do with that, but again, it works similar principle. So it's rounded off, so the lead always falls heavy side first, and then there's a little peg in the middle, so again it works. So the fish would pick up the full weight, and then the peg comes out, which, as you can see, it's a sort of like a cut down swivel, and it's the same thing. So they get the shock of the actual full weight, and then the peg comes out, and they've got sort of a run in until you pick up into it, and then obviously it all pulls back down that way. Now again, there's no way this lead can discharge off like you would if you were setting up a drop-off inline lead sort of style. This won't do that, but what it does do is exactly the same as the other, where the leader just pulls straight through the lead, comes off, and then obviously your swivel, that just runs all the way down, so it drops. So it is safe. Again, not one I would use in really heavily weeded waters, pure to the fact that you can't drop the lead. But yeah, again, I'm impressed. I haven't got that on yet today. I may have a go of it later. There's some areas around here that are a little bit more choddy, and it could get away with a solid bag. So I may set up a solid bag with one of these on a bit later. But yeah, they do various sizes, various size lead. That's a 6 ounce, 6 ounce lead. Is that 4? No. Yeah, 4.5 ounce. No, just smaller, but 3 ounce, I think. But yeah, impressed with them. The leads as well that they make, really, really nice. They feel like they've got a rubber type coating on them. But yeah, thus far, I'm impressed with them. So I've got the normal sort of leg clip ones on 2 of the rods at the moment. Yeah, just play it by ear, see how it goes. Oh, it's just gone about 4:20 now. All quiet still. I did have a go stalking some fish down the bottom end there. There was probably half a dozen just around this snag tree, and it was a case of bodged together a quick. I'd left my bloody stalking rod at home, so I stripped down my marker rod. Lucky enough I had a reel in the car that's got a floating line on it, and I've got my brioche, which is meant to be for my breakfast. These things, I ended up sort of using bits of that. I had a couple, as it was slowly sinking through the water, I had a couple sort of turn onto it, but to no avail, unfortunately. But yeah, so I come back, got the rods back out again, rebaited the right hand rod, the left hand rod now. I'll just flip the camera around. Right, yeah, so there's my left hand rod, basically in line with that swim on the opposite bank. Only just over nine wraps out, so yeah, just short of 40 yards. Nice firm area, bit of weed around it, but yeah, obviously with it being Friday, 4 o'clock, it has got busy. There's a chap in the far corner over there. He was actually in the middle swim where that black car is over there, but yeah, he initially moved into the corner where the white van is, and then he packed his stuff up, went down to that bottom corner, and he had one quite quickly, only a small one, about 11 pound from what I found out. And then down on that bank in the woods, on the bailiff's mark, he's set up in the middle over there, and there's been quite a few cars that have gone around the other side. This is quite a big lake, lots of different areas the fish can get into. Around the far side it's on average a little bit shallower, and with the way the sun is, they're probably around there's a big sort of plateau around that side. One of the lads, I think he's had 3 or 4 today. He landed on them right the first thing this morning, had them in a quick flurry of fish. But as of yet, nothing for me. So yeah, I'm going to Poochers are just chilling out in the sun. I'm going to fire the barbecue up in a little while, have something to eat because I'm starving hungry, and then yeah, well, there you go, there was a fish just out there. See the aftermath of the ripples there. Well, I've seen quite a few showing today, where these ducks are on the other side. One showed there earlier. Obviously with these cables above my head, I'm a bit restricted on where I can cast and the angles I can get to, but I'm close enough to them where that fish was showing. Yeah, so get the barbie fired up. Early night tonight. I haven't had any kip yet, so feeling a bit drained and a bit dead on my feet. So yeah, have a bite to eat and then get my head down early tonight. See what the evening brings. Oh, I don't think her teeth are hurting her. Oh, she's gnawing on that bit of wood. Wait, Toya, what you got? What is it? You little sod. Well, just had one. I just overlaid the picture, I didn't film it. A common of 18.5 pound. That was on the left hand rod, the one that I redid earlier. Yes, I'm really pleased with that. It's first blood on the PCF wafters, the Sweet Amino wafters. In fact, everything on that rig was new. New hook link that Bank Tackle had sent me. I was using a long shank hook with a kicker, slip D where I normally use a curved shank, and then a lead clip thing that my friend sent me from the Netherlands. So everything on that rod was new, and that fish was absolutely nailed. The bite was strange. It was like a jolt up, then it stopped, and then absolutely screamed off. So I think that was where that shocker thing sort of kicked in. But yeah, and I'm getting liners on that rod all the time now. So hopefully we may have 1 or 2 more during the night. Keep our fingers crossed anyway, eh? Well, it's just coming up for about 11:20. I was dead to the world right hand rod. I had a bream on it earlier. I was getting constant bleeds. Now I don't know. I thought it was a bream at first, and I left it, and then it absolutely roared off. But the fish had kited on a straight line round the corner, and it's through the branches and all sorts. I'll see if I can show you in daylight. But I've got what looks like a rather large common in the net. I'll just show you. Yeah, that's quite a big fish, that one. So I'm just getting all my camera stuff sorted, get it out and do some pictures. Happy days. Oh, there you go. 38.5 pound. Wasn't expecting that. Sweet, what if he does it again? Well, I was not expecting that. I knew it was a decent one, but not that big. 38.5. I just thought that is a PB common form. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. Yeah. That's what we go fishing for. Oh, mate. Look at him. Oh. Wow. I didn't twig at the time. There's only when I was putting it back then that I actually realised that that's a new PB common for me. That's mental. Oh, I can't wait till it's daylight. I can show you what I actually had to go through to get that fish in and where it went. Shaking, buzzing. Well, right, let's get that red sorted. Yeah, I only had a bream on that about 9 o'clock. So I ain't been out there that long. Yeah. Oh, good morning. It's just coming up for 6 o'clock now. First cup of tea of the day. Yeah, still buzzing from last night. I think it's known as the big common, that one. Obviously it's bloody big anyway, but I think there's a few sort of 30-pound commons in here. Long common. I don't know if there's one called floppy tail or split tail or something like that. I'm not sure if that's still in here, but it doesn't really matter to me, really. Just, yeah, over the moon that. Yeah, and I had a good night's kip. I've started getting liners on that right hand rod again now, so the fish are moving back round. I think it's going to be another sort of warmish day today. Typical spring days, cold nights. We've got a touch of ground frost this morning. So, yeah, I think the sun's going to be out today, and generally they move around the other side of the lake, like I said yesterday, where it's on average a little bit shallower. But, you know, rods are out. Feeling massively confident. But yeah, it was, I know what happened last night now. It's a proper schoolboy error. about the take that I had. I'll explain, I'll show you. Right, so you can see there, that's my right hand rod, and it's over to that tree over there. I'm not going to say exactly where, because it seems to be a spot. That's where I've picked up sort of 3 fish from this one particular area around that tree. But when I picked the rod up last night, the fish was over there somewhere, and my line went through that branch, and it was over there somewhere. To be honest, I thought it was a bream to start off with, because like I said, I'd had a bream previously, a couple of hours before, hour before, whenever it was, and I just thought that's what it was. It went until it sort of got close into this margin, when it was banging and knocking and the branches were going. I was thinking, actually, there's something a bit bigger on here. Well, say bigger, I thought it was going to be a carp. So I put the rod down and I was faffing around with these branches trying to get all my line out of it. Eventually pinged it off. I didn't have my head torch with me, so I couldn't really see what I was doing. I had a wet boot. And then it sort of stayed really close to these reeds down here, and then my landing nets were here. So I sort of grabbed one and netted it in the just off these reeds here. But the take, now, that's a different story. It seems that when I recast after that bream, I remember I did hit the clip, but really softly. I didn't hit it hard, so it was, if you want, it was a little bit short. So I've tightened the rod up, but I hadn't taken a freaking line out of the clip. Yeah, it happens to all of us. Perhaps I shouldn't be admitting it on the video, but we've all been there and done that, I'm sure. So I'm fucking glad that I didn't lose a rod. So I think that's what had happened. I think I'd had a few bleeps on it where the line had pulled tight up to the clip, and then of course the fish couldn't take anymore, and it's just kited on a straight line. It wasn't until I was re-wrapping the rod, ready to recast it, that as I was doing it, I hit the clip in the exact same spot. It's like, that'll be the reason why. But thankfully it wasn't a disaster, and I got her in. So needless to say, when I recast it last night, I double, triple checked, and I checked all my other reels as well to make sure that all the line clips were out. Yeah, one of those things, you know. Hopefully it only happened once. I haven't done that since, well, I didn't think how old last time I did that. But yeah, so that's why the take wasn't the way I expected it to be, and that's how the fish ended up right around this corner, because it couldn't take line, so it just kited on a straight line. So my own bad, but I got it in, fish went back, no harm done. So yeah, just wait and see now. I had a couple of liners on the middle rod last night as well, the one that I put a load of bait on yesterday. So, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I went a bit OTT with that one, but if you do what everyone else does, you only get the same results. So doing something a little bit different. I'm thinking if the fish move through here, might hold them in my area for a bit longer. Might not, might have spooked them off, I don't know. Ducks have been having a field day down there though. Anyway, I'm going to finish off my cup of tea, and then I'll check in a little bit later. It's just coming up for 10:15 now. Saturday morning. I'm in two minds what to do. Obviously I've had takes on the left hand rod and the right hand rod. The sun's out, it's warm, so I'm just wondering whether to put some zigs out. So the only rod I haven't had a take on, which is the middle rod, I was thinking about reeling that in and just sticking a zig on that. And then typically I've just seen a fish jump clean out of the water twice, looked like it was cleaning its gills, so that was 5 yards to the left of where I'm fishing. I'm just thinking now whether that was cleaning itself. It's been feeding on that spot in the middle rod. Decisions. Won't be until sort of midday anyway that if I do make a change. The last time I used to, well, when I fished on it a few seasons back, 10:30 was always my bite time. And like I say, it's 10:15 now, so I've still got 15 minutes. I have to, yeah, I have to wait and see. But doesn't seem to be much else happening in this bay. There's a small one, about 11 pound caught first thing this morning, and one lost. Been a few bream out. So yeah, just toying with the idea of whether to put zigs out. We shall see. I'll say I'm gonna give it another hour or so first before I make any sort of changes. But if I make any changes, that's what it will be. The only downside is I'll only fish the one rod on the zig. The two spots on the left and right rod, because they've both produced, don't really want to change how they're fishing. And I like, if I'm fishing zigs, I like to fish all three on zigs in the same sort of area at different depths, and then just leapfrog the rods around till you find the depth that they're feeding at. I haven't seen any sort of hatchings coming off the water, not here anyway, yesterday or today. I've just had some bubbles come up now to the right of where I'm fishing. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to say give it an hour or so, and then we'll see what happens. Well, I've made the leap and I've got two rods out on the zigs now. I've got the middle rod and the right hand rod. Started off with the middle one. It was only on about a 4.5 foot zig, I suppose, in 7 foot of water, but these fish are just under the surface, so I've upped it now, so I've got a 6.5 and one at 6 foot, just with black foam. But there's rakes of fish just under the surface moving around. Let me see if there's one just there. Hang on a sec. I don't know if you see it, just bow waves just sort of coming out. There it is, centre of the screen now. But yeah, there's been loads of them just cruising around like that. So I've left the left hand rod on the spot where I've caught a few. Caught a few where I had the big one from last night. But the middle rod is just short of those reeds, this side a bit. They seem to be going around the edge of them reeds. And then the left hand rod is out, sort of in line with that swim opposite. It's hard to see on here, but all of them ripples out there, they're all caused by fish just under the surface. Loads of them. Yeah, there's another one over there. There's another one just in that dark water. Oh, just around there. Yeah, there's one just surfaced. Oh yeah, I don't think they'll be up for floaters. And the trouble is with this place with floaters is the seagulls, and I haven't. The only floaters I've got is her dinner, so I don't think she'll be best pleased with me if I start chucking that out into the lake. But yeah, obviously I'm going to leave the zigs out now for the duration. Rebait up a bit later, ready for the night. But yeah, they just all popped up to the top, sort of all in one go. And all of a sudden there's just pods of fish everywhere. Shoals, groups, whatever you want to call them. Another one just swirling out there. But they are moving. They're not just holding in one place, they're moving about, so. Oh. There's a liner on that rod. Oh no, it was a friendly coot. Yeah, let's wait and see. Well, that came out of the blue. There's me worried about the zigs, and my right hand rod's just zipped off. This feels horrible. It's grating. There's something on the line. Not sure what it is. It's grating as soon as I picked it up. Ooh, that horrible vibration. It's like it's going through weed, but Oh, it's picked up. Gone over it. One pearl one. Put up a good account for itself. I don't want to say that it feels heavy, but it does. What's that on the line? It's a bank of weed, I think. Ooh. No, it's not that big. Might be one of the stockies actually, they like to fight hard. Yeah, one of the small stockies, I think. Bloody hell, mate, come on. Let's see, just down there, it's just below the surface. Oh, don't pick up that other line again. No, this one. That's it, up you get. That's it, have a bit of water, have a bit of air. Oh. Come on. I want to take your photo. There's it. There we go. This time. No. Oh, come on. Give me a break, sir. Give me a break. There we go. I'm hoping. Come on. In you get. In you get. In you get. In you get. Yeah. Actually, no, it's not stocky at all. Ooh. That's better. Not a bad one. Alright. Let's get the camera stuff sorted. Yeah, I do. One, a big one, what for? 27 and a half. Oh, she's now sweet amino. There we go. Oh, come on. Don't want to have his photograph taken. Yes, that is your quickness side. Different colour as well. That slate grey colour. 7, 8. Stunning fish. Yeah, hey, different colour. Slate grey colour. Right. Mouth a bit cleaner. Oh, needless to say, I'm happy with that one. Yeah, put those 2 rods on zigs, which is because of the amount of fish that are under the surface, and they're everywhere in this bay now, loads of them. Yeah, I was expecting one of those to go. When I heard the alarm, I turned around and it wasn't. It was a right hand rod. So yeah, happy bunny with that. That's an 18, a 27, and a 38 in, well, I don't know what time I had that fish yesterday, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, something like that. So yeah, it's going quite well. Still got the zigs out at the moment because the fish are still milling about. It's just coming up for 3 o'clock now, but I'm going to get the bottom rods out probably in an hour or so. But so while they're still milling about, I'm going to leave the zigs out. But now I'm happy where they are as well. So I know I said earlier about recasting them, but I repositioned the left-hand rod over to the far side near the reeds, because they seem to be sort of doing a loop and then ending up around the back near them reeds. So yeah, put one over there. Had a liner on it not long afterwards, so just wait and see. But yeah, I'll give it an hour or two and then get the bottom rods back out again, see what the night brings. Well, morning. It's yes, just gone 7 o'clock. No more carp to report. I got breamed out last night, and I think I had 3 or 4 during the night. It all went quiet probably about, I don't know, about 3 o'clock. I think was the last one I had. So yeah, I'm a bit shattered this morning. To be honest, I've just woken up 7 o'clock, which is late for me. Didn't hear anything last night either. But yeah, the wind swung around as it was forecast, and it's now that's more or less a straight northerly now. So not a brilliant wind. Had a few liners last night. There was a savage one on the right hand rod. Now I don't know whether it was a liner or whether I just got done. I think it, I don't know, really don't know, but I ended up redoing that rod anyway. And then the right hand rod, so that's the one I had all the bream on, which is typical because that's the one that obviously I had the big fish on. That's my if you want, banking rod. So that was in and out all night last night. I put some fresh bait out on it after the last bream. So I'm tempted to have a recast on that one rod in a little while, just to make sure that it's sort of on the money, it's where it needs to be. It felt all right on the drop last night, but you know, it's like in the dark, you never know whether you're casting where you should be. You know, and not 100% accurate, you can't see where it's landing, and it is a certain area over there that I need to be on. But yeah, so like I say, 7 o'clock now. I'm going to give it till sort of early afternoon, so I've still got a good few hours. It can be a very productive daytime water, so I'm going to keep soldiering on, have a bit of a slow pack up a bit later on, and see what happens.
The sun's not due out today, so no zigs. I'll just be fishing on the bottom. Yeah, be fishing on the bottom until I pack up. But yeah, I think it's going to be a recast on that right hand rod very shortly. And then yeah, see what the day brings. That's all one can do. Right there. See where them bubbles are coming up. Somewhere in the centre of the viewfinder there. There's a reasonable sized carp just stuck its nut straight out. I think I'm going to put a lead on that. I take it back. It's 7 o'clock, but the clock went back last night, isn't it? So that it's actually 6 o'clock. But now it's 7 o'clock. Yeah, don't feel so bad now. I thought I was a lazy angler getting up at 7 o'clock. But yeah, so just see that fish to the left of where my middle rod was just come clean out, and it went straight down because it was fizzing up on the bottom. So I just whipped in the middle rod and just cast it. I actually cast it past where the fish was feeding. I've done this quite a few times actually, where you cast, if you see something like that, cast over the top of them and then reel in, and then let the lead sink down to where the area where the fish was feeding. If you cast directly on top of it, I think the splosh can scare them off a little bit. But yeah, casting quite a bit past them, then reeling in, watching the angle of your line, and then just letting it sink down onto the spot. It's about 7 foot there, I suppose, how it felt when it was dropping through the water. So real firm bottom as well. So if nothing does occur on that, I'm going to clip that rod up on that spot and explore it a little bit more, because it might be another one for the notebook. Well, I've just recast the middle rod. I did a bit of leading around on that spot, and it's quite firm. Deep water, there's about 8-9 foot on there, so I've just stuck a crystal white pop up on there with a pouch of sweet amino around it, and I've redone the right hand rod as well, because like I say, when you're casting in the dark you're never 100% sure, and there is a certain area. So yeah, I've done that. Right hand rod left hand rod, sorry, I'm not touching. I'm going to leave that where it is. Some geese have just come onto the lake, and Mr. Swan has decided that he's going to try chasing them off. So yeah, they've had a bit of a party over the top of my left hand rod. It is what it is. Yeah, I'm going to give it a few more hours, start slowly packing up, and then head home. My next trip is going to be weekend after next, where it's the first PCF social on home fen, which are always a good crack. Good to catch up with the guys, barbecue beers, yeah, and hopefully a few fish will be caught around the lake as well. But yeah, for now, I don't know, just not feeling overly confident now. I don't know whether it's just because this wind has changed or what, but I was getting sort of quite a few liners yesterday. I haven't had any today. But yeah, here's what it is. I'll leave them where they are for now. And if Mr. Carp want to feed, then I'll get the camera back out. Bugger. Just lost one. Well, probably about half an hour ago. Taking the right hand rod again. There's a fish. There you see it. Yeah, take on a right hand rod. Leader parted. We're kicking the plums. I guess possibly a bit bad angling. I had that 27 yesterday, and I felt like the line grating on something. But I just thought it was the weed that was on it, and I didn't check the leader, and that's where it went.
painful. But yeah, it is what it is. Still got about another hour. Got the rod back out. Feeling a bit more confident now than what I was this morning. A few fish moving around. I just had someone baiting up, pre-baiting, which, okay, we've all done it, but not in an area where someone's fishing, please. Hey ho. Modern day carp fishing for you. Well, I wasn't expecting that. Ooh. Ah, oh no, it's still there. God. Yeah, middle rod. It's the one I recast earlier when I saw that fish nut out. Yeah, it's absolutely tore off. Staying low. Oh, I got my sunglasses. Get them in a minute. Oh, excuse my finger. This was in the deep water. Oh, look at that in the clear water. I don't know if you can see it. Looks a lovely fish. With scales on it. There he is. They're fit fish in here, they really are. They really like pulling your string. Making the arm look. Oh, jeez. Come on, that's enough now. That's it, give yourself up. Give yourself up. Come on. Come on, into the net, in the net, in the net, in the net. Yeah. Oh. Oh, there you go. Not as, actually, not as small as I first thought. Lovely looking fish though, look at that. That's a stunner. Beautiful. Right then, I'll get everything sorted now. As you can see, everything's packed up. Right, where do I start? So most of my stuff packed up. This is the rod that I recast earlier. £23 on the nose. What a stunning fish. Look at that. Yeah. Beautiful fish. This was on the crystal white pop up. So I put a pouch of sweet amino over the top. That stunning fish. A bit of a strange way to finish my my videos, but obviously I'm back home now. Yeah, had that 23, that last fish, last knockings, just come out of nowhere. You know, as you'd seen by the video, I'd packed most of my stuff on the barrow, literally just the rods out. Yeah, and it was that middle rod that I recast this morning when I saw that fish sort of nut out. Deeper water as well. You know, I'd say it was in about 9 foot, something like that. Nice firm bottom. But yeah, pouch full of sweet amino over the top. And sometimes that's all it takes. But yeah, great session, obviously absolutely buzzing for that. No PB common for me. And I had one of these things pop up on Facebook, one of these memories, and I had that fish 7 years ago to the day, 29th of March 2012. I had it at, it was early hours of the morning when I had it. And then obviously Friday was the 29th of March. And I had it at about 20 past 11. Different ends of the lake, same sort of conditions though, bright days, cold nights, early spring. So yeah, well, they say the fish are creatures of habit, obviously feeding on that particular day. But yeah, so yeah, the car's all unloaded now. Time to chill out for a bit. Like I said earlier, my next session is going to be on home fed in 2 weeks' time. Excuse me, on a social. I might get the camera out for that, depends on if anything gets caught. But I'll film do a video there if that is the case. So for now, go out there and enjoy yourself, and remember, it's only fishing.